book review on Spark Joy by Marie Kondo. I thought it was really important to do a book review on this, considering I did a book review on the life-changing magic of tidying up, and my process for the KonMari method is like one of my, me sorting out all my stuff is one of my highest viewed videos. So I thought it was really important to do a review on the second book and basically answer the question, will I need the second book? I've read the first book, should I invest in the second book, or is it pretty much the same as the first, just an illustrated guide? Because that's what it says on the front. It says an illustrated guide to the Japanese art of tidying. So initially you do think it's going to be the first book but with pictures, and if you've already done the process, you may be thinking, is that necessary for me to buy? So I will start off by saying Spark Joy is different from the first book. I was definitely skeptical in thinking it was going to be like just the same as the first, but lately I've really been wanting to spring clean again and just sort out my stuff. After this video I will be vlogging my experience going around and sorting more stuff out. I'm not sure how well I'm gonna do, or if I'm gonna do it all in one day. Probably not, or I just don't know, because obviously I've done it fully in depth about a year ago or so, or over a year, probably like a year and a half ago. And obviously I'm in a very different position in my life now from when I read the first book. Obviously my fiance's moved in, we're currently living in my parents' house, so we have to cram all our stuff into one room together. Now luckily it is a fair size room, but as you'll be able to see, like, wardrobe space and stuff is very limited between us, and obviously one day we're going to want to move out, and I want to just get rid of the stuff and literally only have what really makes me happy. And yes, when I did the process at first, that should have been enough for me to sort out, and I should be in a good place now where I don't have all this clutter. But sometimes I feel the process needs to be done a couple of times. That may not be what Marie Kondo suggests. I'm pretty sure she suggests doing it once and then you'll be great forever and you'll have this really minimalist lifestyle. But that is not for everyone. And if you watch my first video, I'll link it down below, and like all the videos relating to it. There's a lot of things that maybe I sort of cheated on in a way, or I didn't do exactly like she suggested doing, and people caught me out on that. But sometimes I don't think you need to follow her book word for word. It may be more effective, but for me at the time what I did was very effective for me, and I don't think that if I'd pulled everything from every room in the house that was like clothing, then I would have purged anymore. I'm going to go through this book review, and so let me actually get back to talking about the book rather than the process, because that'll be the next video. But yes, this book does have illustrations, and by the way, the copy, the British copy, I don't know if it's going to show up, is really, really beautiful. So they are more like, let's see, so this is one, and it literally tells you more in depth how to fold different items. For me, I found it very hard to keep up the folding items, and I don't fold the way that when I first did that process, and someone commented on my video and said I probably haven't folded it right, which is probably true. So maybe I need to go through and refold everything again and take a closer look at how she does it. But yeah, there's just very cute little illustrations. It breaks up the text a little bit more, and yeah. So I feel like this book is a follow-on to the first book. It addresses things from the first book, questions you may have had afterwards, or if you had any issues with some things, or if you felt like she should have gone more in depth. This is really the book for that. She goes into a lot more detail about things. For example, she'll go into categories of like stuff you'd find in your kitchen. She talk about how to organise sports wear and sports gear, sort of medicines, how to sort soft toys, how to address the situation when you've got like a family in your home, and how to deal with if your partner doesn't want to be as minimalist as you are, which is something I probably am going to have to deal with, and getting them to absorb your minimalist lifestyle, which is something that I would love to have, but I know is never, well, I don't say never because it might happen, and if I tried enough it probably would happen, but I really just want to streamline my life. A lot more in detail. She goes in detail about like makeup and like body products and when to chuck things out, and yeah, she just goes really in depth and things like that. One thing that she mentioned in the book is that in Japanese culture, at the end of December they have their sort of end of year clear out, as opposed to sort of most people generally do a spring clean out. They don't really think of the end of December as being the time to sort of sort out things and tidy, because that's usually quite a busy time with Christmas and New Year, but somehow they obviously managed to fit in that into their lifestyle. So another thing she talks about is how to really define and decide if something sparks joy. If when you're doing the process the first time around, if you struggled, maybe you're in the middle of the process, if you struggled to really hold something and think, does this spark joy or not? She goes through in this book how to really decide that and to help your sorting out be more effective. One thing that I found really important that she covered that she didn't in the first book was about keeping practical things that may not spark joy. For example, kitchen stuff may not spark joy. Plain vest tops may not spark joy, but they're an essential to have in your wardrobe. So she addresses how to, in a sense, put joy into those items, acknowledge them for them being useful, and the fact that that brings me joy because it makes my life simpler day to day. That brings me joy because it's easier for me to do it that way. This brings me joy because I don't have to worry about this because I have this. Those sort of things. And yeah, that was a really good bit that she included for when you're stuck with all those like practical, slightly boring things that may not spark joy, but you're thinking, do I really need to get rid of these? The answer is no. Another thing that she talked about was if you're on the fence about something, don't be ashamed to keep it. If you like something and it has no actual practical use, but you just like it, and when you hold it that like brings a warmth to you, then keep it. It's that whole thing of like not trying to impress anyone, and like literally your home or your room or a part of your room should be like your own little space, your little museum in a way. Think of your home as like your own museum where if people came in you'd be proud to show your home, and the items that you display and the things that you own. So yeah, I think that's all I've got to say on the book Spark Joy, but I would definitely say it's worth picking up if you've read the first book and you think you're at that time where you might want to do another sort of like spring summer clean, or you are just interested in more in the tidying process and that minimalist sort of lifestyle, then I would definitely say pick this up. I'm really excited to start doing the process in a minute. I don't think I'm going to be following it word to word, but I will link that down below when it gets uploaded, so you can follow me through that journey. If you've read the book, tell me what you thought of it. If you've got any questions or anything, leave them down below. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!